Hello, my friends. It's Sue again to do a quick chat about The Great Gatsby. First thing I want to do is look at characters very quickly. There's a lot going on here, but Gatsby is a fascinating character. He is kind of mysterious, and I think that's one of the things that makes him great. But we never really know what he did, bootlegging probably, etc. But he is the epitome of the tragic character who has a fear of failure, much like many of Fitzgerald's characters. Daisy is shallow. What does it say? Her voice sounds like money. But in many ways, she does know what she's doing. The question comes up whether Daisy's and Gatsby's affair was platonic or sexual. Daisy's not that moral, so I'd say probably sexual, but it doesn't really matter because Gatsby's feelings for her are so idealized that it could go anyway, either way. But Daisy's fascinating, even though I don't think she's super likable. Tom, I'm pretty sure we're not supposed to like at all in any way. He's, a boaster, a braggart, and he's a bigot. I want to make clear, though, that Fitzgerald was absolutely not a bigot. He uses the technique of putting the racist ideas in the mouth of the worst character in the book, or stupidest character, however you want to look at it. Jordan is just kind of a cold person, and of course does not seem to fit super well with Nick. Nick is, again, we have a really fascinating point of view in Nick because we have a first person narrator, but this is the more modern technique of having that narrator be a character. He seems to be a minor character because Gatsby seems to be the main character, but some would say that he becomes our major character because his change or the effect these people had on him is really the main point. You decide what you think about that. But he is the observer. He's corrupt enough to be drawn to them, but he does seem to have values, and I think we trust him. We always have to ask the question about reliability when we have a first person narrator. And in this case, he thinks he's honest. I think we believe him about that. But also he seems to be trying to get it right. So that I think that is at least something to consider. This story becomes a cultural artifact, very obviously, as do many Fitzgerald works. He represents the Jazz Age. He named the Jazz Age, and gives us a great picture of rising prosperity, of the consumerism, but also things in the story like the Model T car, the music, the fashion that we see. The idea also that breaking the law has become fashionable as well. We also know that the stock market crash is coming and will lead to the end of this era. Symbols very important in this story, even though we might call it a realistic story, not from the Romantic period. But that house, again, is a symbol because of its opulence, because it represents his success, and then perhaps at the end his failure. Daisy is not only a character, she's a symbol of what he wants, not just money, but social acceptance. Quickly again, that valley of ashes is, a crossroads. It's the degradation of society. T.J. Eckleburg's billboard, the eyes following them, seeming to pursue them, is kind of like being watched, but also It's about a facade. There's nothing behind those eyes. And so, it kind of represents the facade that some or all of them are putting up, their lack of true faith in anything. We see that the symbolism of the East as being corrupted, the West as having better values. All the characters are supposedly originally from the Midwest, but perhaps suggesting that displacement doesn't work, or reaching for an illusion in the case of the characters trying to get to the East. Including East egg and West egg. We know that the cars represent freedom often, and that green light at the end of Daisy's dock is clearly what he is reaching for. Even the title, I think, is interesting as a symbol because the Great Gatsby sounds almost like he's a magician. So this is partly a rags to riches story, but is it about the American dream, or is it about the corruption of the American dream? Gatsby has attained the money, but not the class rank that he wants. He's still not accepted in the upper echelon. We have all sorts of themes about time and how time, the paradox that time is, the past is over, and yet it keeps affecting us. I want to mention naturalism. I said that this was a realistic story, but an offshoot of realism is naturalism, which is a more gritty form of realistic writing that suggests that the character is up against a society or a situation where he has no control. And in this case, he's not able to leap over those class lines. And that's what we have for now. I will see you next time.